as she can. So that's why we separate male and female in so many walks of life.
Well, why do you think so many? Because this isn't just men who are enabling this. There are many women who enable this as well. And I don't understand why they can't see why the separation is there.
Yeah, I think that you're right. When people say, oh, men made these decisions about sport, it's women too. I've seen that. I think there are a couple of reasons. One is that there's huge pressure on women to be kind and to be accommodating. You know, people will say, well, there aren't that many trans women, as they'll call them, meaning males who identify as women. There aren't that many. Why can't you just include them? And what they're really saying is, those people matter more than you do. Their feelings matter more than fairness for you. So I think there's huge pressure on women, and we're socialized to be accommodating.
I just feel like, why do we have to let them in? Why is it that our spaces have to be invaded and then we have to feel uncomfortable so another group of people can feel comfortable with themselves, right? And it's just basically saying, yeah, you feel that way, but this person, they're more vulnerable. They need you. They need to be in this group. And so therefore, because they need this, opportunity to really feel like they're a woman, you should just give it to them because that's the right thing to do. And just basically disregard your feelings. And if you can really say to me this has nothing to do with patriarchy, you clearly do not know how this world works. You clearly do not know how this world works. There we have it again, folks. A man is still dictating to us how we should feel and what we should accept. And now we feel even inferior to a transgender woman. You know, there we have it, folks. We're still inferior to these men, even transgender, quote unquote, woman, right? We're still inferior to them. And people don't want to speak out because they're scared.
I also hear women saying, well, you know, we're just as good as men, we can cope. And of course, we may be just as good, but we're different. So we still need separate categories. So it's been quite a battle to try and re-establish the right of women to have what men have, which is fairness.
Are we making headway with this? Because it feels like we move forward and then there's some other ridiculous case of a man who then says he's a woman and then everyone's going along with it and you're like, it's just not, the man is not a woman. Except you can be a trans, I mean, some people actually object to a trans woman being called a trans woman, and actually it should be a trans man if they're a man identifying as a woman, or a trans person.
Well, people are very confused. You're quite right. People are very confused by the language, and this is another battle on this front. It's why language matters, because if I can't sit here and say that person is male, he has a male body, and that's why he doesn't belong in women's sport or a women's swimming session or a women's changing room, if I can't use those words, man and male, we can't have the conversation. And that's one of the pressures, of course, that we're under, is not to say those things. People say that's really unkind. Why do you have to be so mean? I don't want to be mean, but I'm entitled to express that view, and I need to be able to say it to protect women and girls. And I say to those people, why are you unkind to women and girls? Why don't you care about them?
I am just so tired of women forfeiting their dreams for a man and what he wants. And I'm so tired of women forfeiting their purpose in life. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of women dimming their light for another woman so she doesn't come off threatening. I'm so tired of women making sure that they speak in this soft voice so they don't intimidate a man and make that man angry. I'm so tired of it. And I'm not saying go out in the freaking world and act like a damn lion and attack people, but I'm saying I just wish for the day where I can just see women not care what people think about them, and just not have to dim their lights for a man or dim their light for another woman or dim their light so they can make a certain group of people comfortable. You should be able to share your opinions and not have to be worried about being canceled, not have to be worried about YouTube not promoting a video, or not have to worry about Instagram or Twitter blocking comments. You should be able to share your voices. And I feel like they're kind of backing us in a corner and saying, hey, be quiet. These new people are on the block and you just need to be quiet and accept them and you don't have a choice, or we're going to make sure that we punish you in public places. We're going to punish you. We're going to cancel your membership if you do not support what we're doing here. The world that we're going into, the direction that I see us going to, if you say something is right, they say is left. If you say something's up, they say down. And if people don't speak up, most importantly, parents, if they don't speak up, and if women keep supporting these people by being their friends and going to parades and seeing that person as them, we're failing ourselves and we're failing our future kids, you know?
You know, this isn't just competitive sport, it's also women and girls wanting to go swimming, go to female-only gym sessions, and if they can't be sure that that's what they're going to find, some of them are just dropping out, and that is unkind. That's not inclusive.
Should women decide then? So I think it might have been a swimming event, or it was at darts. It was darts actually, where the women refused to compete. Do you think that is the way forward? When women say, "Well, we're not going to compete"?
Yeah, that's been happening a bit. It's been happening in pool as well, where there's a legal case going on. I think it's really asking a lot of women to give up their own opportunities just to make a point. They shouldn't have to. It shouldn't come to that. I think any woman or girl should be free to say, I'm not going to do that. It takes courage. They risk really some quite nasty criticism, but often they find that they also get a lot of support. But I don't think we should be expecting women to boycott their own category in order to restore fair rules. It's really up to policymakers and decision makers. And I'd like to see the government step up and say, come on, you know, the reason we have a female category is for the people who otherwise would have no chance of winning things because female body.
In sports, right? You are tested sometimes to see if you're taking enhancement drugs, right? Because they don't want you to have a unfair advantage over someone else, right? And it's cheating. And you could be banned, you could be suspended, you could lose medals, you can lose everything, your whole career, sponsorships, right? And the fact that a man can transition into a woman because he feels like he's a woman. And now the whole world is supposed to jump on his bandwagon and say, okay, now that he's taken these drugs to appear more female like, he's now lost all his biological benefit, all his strength that he had as a man, and we're supposed to buy that? Absolutely not. I don't buy that crap. And if you've never taken a biology class, maybe you need to go take one. Maybe you need to go take a science course of some sort and start from the basics. Because clearly you don't understand how different a man and a woman is from just the brain and from a physical standpoint. You need to go back to school. If you buy that crap, go back to school.
Are so different. So no men in that category. It doesn't matter how they identify. Let's accommodate them in an open category. There are solutions. The big sports, you ask where we are with this now, the big sports in the world, the biggest Olympic sports, which are athletics, cycling and swimming, they've all recognised this and they've restored fairness. And because they've done that at world level, the UK federations have done that too. But we're still waiting on an awful lot of other sports.
This is absurd, really, to me. It's so straightforward. I'm confused as to why it's become an issue and a confusion.
And you know what's so sad about this too? Women have fought for so long to have equal pay, to have equal rights as men, and we just like got the ability to work for ourselves, own our own homes, have our own bank account, right? When you look back at history and you look back at now, it was not that far ago when we had to depend on men for everything. And now it just seems like we go 5 steps ahead, right? And then they put us back 10 steps ahead, behind, because now we have to fight for rights all over again. It's just like, when does it stop, right? When does it stop? Um, Nobody in life is going to give you something. You have to forcefully take it sometimes. And if you're quiet and timid and you allow these people to make decisions that affect you and affect the world around you, then I have to say that you're a coward. And I will have to say that I'm a coward if I don't speak out against this stuff. Then I'm a traitor to my own gender and to myself if I befriend a transgender woman or I support their movement. I will be betraying myself. I'll be betraying my sister, my mother, and every other woman that believes so strongly against transgender women taking over their spaces. And I can't do that. So I suggest, if you know in your heart that you are okay with what's going on, then I strongly suggest that you unsubscribe. I don't want you on my channel. I don't want any trader watching my channel. Absolutely not. No pick allowed. I know you see the title.
And why it's become some sort of insult that when you call a man a man. I mean, of course, we had India Willoughby being upset when she was called a man because she is a man. Not to be horrible to her, but biologically she is a man. So even though I'm honouring the fact that I'm calling her a she, but ultimately I'm being forced to go along with something that I don't necessarily agree with. Not that.
That's it right there. We're being forced. That's exactly what it is. But I will be forced no longer. Anyways, y'all, if y'all like this or found it very informative, please like and subscribe. If you are not a Pygmisha, if you are a Pygmisha, then you know what to do. Jump off. Bye.